Number 10 says a small business person borrowed $2,300 for office equipment and furniture. The loan was for 6 months at 8% interest per year. What amount of the interest will be owed when the note matures? So we know that the loan amount was for $2,300 and the interest rate was 8%. You do the math on that as 184. That would be the yearly interest. But it says that the loan was for only 6 months. So we need to take the yearly interest and divide it by 2. So the interest for half the year for that 6 months would be $92. Your answer is B. Number 11 says a bank issued a home improvement loan of $20,000 at 7.5% in simple interest for 4.5 years. If the loan was paid in full at the end of 4.5 years, how much principal and interest did the bank receive? So we know that the loan amount was $20,000. And that the interest rate was 7.5%. If we multiply by, this is the interest rate, that is $1,500 per year. So this is yearly interest. It says for 4.5 years, so we're going to multiply this by 4.5 years. So the total interest would be $67.50. So this is total interest, and we need to add it to the original loan amount, which was $20,000. So you get $26,750. Your answer is D. Number 12 says if a bank wished to earn $9,000 on a small business loan of $20,000 over 4.5 years, what simple interest rate would have, excuse me, what simple interest rate would it have to charge? Okay, so we know that the interest that they want to earn is $9,000. So that is their goal. It says for 4.5 years. Let's figure out how much interest per year that they need. So we're going to divide this by 4.5 years, and that will give us the yearly interest. When you do that, that is $2,000 per year. And we know that the loan amount is $20,000. So we're going to divide the yearly interest by the loan amount to give us the rate. And when you do that, you get 0.1 or 10%. This will be our interest rate. So your answer would be B. Number 13 says, which of these is true regarding short-term loan interest? Okay, we are going to have to work out all of these on number 18. So A, B, C. Okay, A says 2,000 at 20% for 2.5 years. So the loan amount is $2,000 times the interest rate, be 0.2. That will give us our yearly interest, which would be $400. And it is for 2.5 years. So we are going to multiply this by 2.5. And that gives us $1,000 total interest. So we're looking for which one yields the greatest amount of interest. All right, B is the loan amount is $10,000 at 5% interest for 2 years. So we'll multiply loan amount by interest rate. And it said 5%. So the yearly interest would be $500, and it said for 2 years. So the total interest would be $1,000. Okay, C is the loan amount is $60,000 at 10% interest rate. So your yearly interest would be $6,000, and it says for 2 months. So we need to take 2 and divide it by 12. And when you do that, you get 0.1667. So we're going to multiply this by 0.1667. And when you do, you get $1,000. So the answer is D. They all earn the same amount of interest. Number 14 says if an interest payment of $90 is made every 3 months on a $5,000 business equipment loan, what is the interest rate? So we know that the interest payment, they make a $90 payment every 3 months, which is quarterly. So every 3 months, that is 4 times in a year. So the yearly interest would be $360. Now that we have that, we can divide that by the loan amount of $5,000 to get the interest rate. It's 0.072 or 7.2%, which is D. Okay, number 15 says an interest-only loan was given for 80% of appraised value of a house. If the interest on the loan is $62.50 semi-annually at an annual rate of 5%, what is the appraised value of the home? So we know that the interest is $6,250, but this is semi-annually, so we need to multiply it by 2 to get the yearly interest. And when you do that, it is $12,500. Okay, we know that the interest rate is 5%. So we can divide this by 5%, or 0.05, and that will give us our loan amount, which is $250,000. However, it is asking for the appraised value. We know that the loan, they gave 80% of the appraised value. So we are trying to find what this is 80% of. So we need to divide this by 0.8. This is the assessment rate, and this will give us the assessed value. When you do that, the assessed value would have been $312,500. Your answer is A.